and then right into. So to add velocity, once I've done this, as soon as I've made contact, then I'm gonna, and I have my 60-40 weight distribution, I'm gonna get marriage of gravity and torque by settling into the uppercut. So now let's do that all the way to the uppercut. Pretend like you have like a 100-pound weight or a 200-pound weight, right? And when I do this, watch. I'm gonna end up with front toe rear heel alignment where his body is. Did you see me come over here to do that? All I gotta do is go neutral bow, and then reverse bow, and I'll still have power. I'm gonna hit you a little bit. So from here, I'm gonna go from here. It's still enough. Then I'm gonna
contornea y cambia la guardia.
Hit him with your forearm across the diaphragm.
Y nos vamos a neutral, golpeando el diafragma.
Okay, back at attention. Move. All right, that's good. So you see how he hit and then bounced right into that. But do you feel like you changed your stance?
No.
Okay, do it again. Ready? Move. You see that? So our first move is going to be block and hand sword. But now, because we want to add velocity to it, we want to block and do the hand sword, but don't do it from a neutral. Do it from the beginning of a forward bow. So I'm gonna block, right? And then as soon as I've made contact, I'm gonna go right into the forward bow, but I'm gonna insert the hand sword. So stiffen your face a little bit. So I'm gonna go from here and then right into, right like that, right? So as soon as I've hit, I'm gonna go, right? So I've hit here, and I've cocked this hand. But why stop there? We will for right now, but as soon as we've touched here, then we wanna go right back to the neutral bow. And as soon as we've touched here, we wanna ricochet and go to a twist stance, right, and hit here. And as soon as we've touched here, we wanna anchor the elbow, hit this side, and reach and grab the face as we go to a reverse bow, and hit this side, growing, and then cross out. But it can be one fluid motion. Thank you.
Ok, básicamente, Javi, por ejemplo, le ha corregido que en el primer movimiento, primeros dos, ¿vale? No cambiaba su posición, ¿vale? Y decía, cuando pegas el primer golpe, ya cambias arco y flecha, ¿vale? Cuando pegas el segundo, ya estás cambiando otra vez, ¿vale? Y que sea un movimiento muy fluido, ¿vale? Que cuando ya toca, ya cambia a otro.
So now, we're gonna break it down and do a neutral bow, hand sword but as soon as you've hit with the inward block, you're gonna throw the hand sword, right?
Vale, vamos a separarlo en movimientos, ¿vale? Y tal como tocáis en el bloqueo, ya sale el canto, ¿vale?
At the same time as we're moving our hips, so we're one motion.
Al mismo, lo haremos todo en un movimiento.
Our feet are parallel and we have our front toe rear heel alignment.
Y que quede bien alineado y todo. Lo que estamos haciendo, ¿vale? Pero ahora bloqueo y canto.
Okay, ready? Out. And back at attention. So in any technique that we do,
Cualquier técnica que hacemos,
there's a stance that you've learned.
hay una posición que estás aprendiendo.
In this particular one, it's a right neutral bow.
Y en esta es la neutra derecha.
So if you were standing at attention and I said right neutral bow, move, if I said step forward, as fast as you could do this, you should be able to do this. Whoops, you should be able to do this, right? So you should be able, as fast as I can do this, do that.
Desde la estancia tenéis que hacer. Desde la estancia tenéis que hacer lo más rápido que podáis este movimiento en un solo bloque.
So what we don't want to do is think, when I say move, settle, step, block, hand sword.
Que cuando diga move, no dividáis todos los movimientos en fotogramas. A paso, bloqueo, hand sword, ¿vale? Que lo hagáis en uno.
Just think as fast as you can, do a neutral bow, and then just do an inward block and a hand sword.
Pensar tan rápido como podáis en hacer el arco y flecha, para que ya salga todo el movimiento fluido.
Ready? Hoop! Good. You like your feet?
Sí, te han gustado sus pies y a él le han encantado.
Okay, so now as soon as you've landed in a neutral bow, you're going to do a forward bow. So as I've landed in the neutral bow, as I do the forward bow, I'm going to do hand, sword, heel palm, and I'm going to cock this hand right here. All right? So go ahead.
Tal como impactáis el primer bloqueo, ya sacáis los segundos, ¿vale?
Okay, ready? So you're going to, as fast as you can do a neutral bow, you're going to do a forward bow, right?
Tan rápido como podáis hacer el primer neutro, hacéis el arco y flecha.
Ready? Hoop! Good. So don't forget this part.
Okay.
And back. Ready? Hoop! So do the hand sword and then do the forward bow heel palm, right? Or you could do an eye poke, I don't care. Ready? Hoop! All right, now that we've got the timing of that, hang on a second. So see how this is your hip and this is your hip, right? And they're at an angle. The angle should be, so your hip angle should be parallel with this short line on these ceramic tiles.
La cadera tiene que quedar paralela a esta línea.
Right?
¿Vale? La cadera tiene que quedar bien alineada.
Okay. Go back to a neutral bow. You go back to a neutral bow.
No, un arco neutro. Vete al arco neutro.
Okay, so you've done this. You were like here, and then you went, right? So you want to end up with your front toe rear heel. Go, do a neutral bow from there.
Desde aquí haz un arco neutro. Haz una guardia neutra.
All right, so you're just a couple inches off, right?
Estás 2 pulgadas por fuera, digamos.
But when
alinear mejor el arco neutro.
But when you started, you were this far off, all right?
Primero estabas muy separado, ya lo estás mejorando.
Okay, back at attention. One move, you're going to do a neutral bow, forward bow, but you're going to go block and then a forward bow and cock this hand to the side, right?
En un solo movimiento y guardar la mano aquí, ¿vale?
Ready? Hoop! All right, back at attention. So to add velocity, once I've done this, as soon as I've made contact, then I'm gonna, and I have my 60-40 weight distribution, I'm gonna get marriage of gravity and torque by settling into the uppercut. So now let's do that all the way to the uppercut.
Ahora va a llegar al upper, ¿vale? Y aquí juega con los otros principios de potencia también, ¿vale? Porque está jugando a sumar principios de potencia. Aquí le añade matrimonio.
So we want to train our mind that once we've made contact, we immediately go to the next move of going pose, and then now I'm going to do this.
No queremos construir el hábito de ir paso a paso, sino ir empalmando. Cuando toco ya cambio el movimiento.
So when I fought full contact,
Cuando él luchaba en full contact,
I taught myself that if I could touch, I'm going to do it on your shoulder.
Yeah.
If I could touch with this, even though just barely touching him, right? But if I'm throwing a jab, and I touch, then I throw the right cross, because I know that if I can touch with the jab, I can penetrate with the right cross.
vale.
So go ahead.
Cuando él luchaba en full contact, ¿vale? Lo que hacía es, él tiraba el jab, pero a la que notaba el contacto, aunque fuera ligero, si ya te cazo con el jab, con el cross te atravieso, ¿vale? Entonces él tenía el entrenamiento de, a la que noto el contacto, ya saco el cross, ¿vale?
Conversely, what I'm doing my technique, if I blocked correctly, and then I hit him in the throat, and then I hit him in the face, if I made contact with the face, if I didn't, if I hit him so good with the hand sword that I can't reach him with the face, then I'm not going to reflexively do this. But if I made contact here, I'm going to, without thought, just by reflex, by spontaneous motion, I'm going to go into the uppercut.
El tema es que si lo hace por reflejo llegará, ¿vale? Si no, si tira en la cara, luego igual no entra. Pero cuando toca cara, ya nace el upper, ¿vale? Lo empalma, ¿vale?
Right, so we're imagining that we're making contact with each one of these moves.
En cada movimiento imaginemos que hacemos contacto.
So there should be no delay from one to the other.
No se pueden separar, no se pueden retrasar.
And that's the velocity part of the pentagon of power.
Y dentro del pentágono esta es la parte de velocidad.
Okay, we're going to go to the uppercut.
Ahora iremos hasta el upper.
Ready? Hoop. Good, now your fist should be also pointing where your front foot is.
El puño tiene que estar apuntando donde apunta el pie de delante.
Right, so if our foot is facing 45, this uppercut is also a
El pie
45.
apunta 45, la mano apunta 45.
That's in your ideal phase
En la fase ideal,
when you're doing it in the air.
cuando lo haces en el aire.
If you're doing it to a human and you've knocked them back, then you might have to change the angle, but we want to practice pointing where our foot is going.
Vale. Esto es en teoría, ¿vale? Pero en la realidad igual tendrás que reajustarlo, porque el tío no se te queda igual.
But we want to teach our brain to do this spontaneously.
Tenemos que pensarlo espontáneamente, que nos salga espontáneo.
So now, stand attention. We'll do it one more time to the uppercut.
Hacemos otra.
Flow to the other move.
Entrenar para que un movimiento conduzca al siguiente, que sea fluido. Que un movimiento fluya al siguiente movimiento.
Because how we train is how we're going to react when we fight.
Tal como entrenamos es como reaccionaremos cuando luchemos.
So let's do it to the uppercut one more time with one fluid motion.
Hasta el upper, ¿vale? Con movimiento fluido.
And if I'm teaching my brain,
Estoy entrenando mi cerebro,
then it's better to teach it so they have the same cadence. It's better to teach it so they have the same cadence.
vale,
So
que
in
tenga la
other,
misma cadencia.
so in other words, the time between here, 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 and here are the same,
Okay,
right?
okay. Intentar que tenga la misma cadencia, el mismo ritmo.
And then we can be fluent like one breath
Entonces puede ser como sacar el aire, puede ser fluido.
as we teach our brain not to have interruptions in the cadence.
Que no, entrenamos nuestro cerebro a no tener interrupciones en la cadencia, ¿vale? Que sea un solo movimiento.
Okay, let's do it without interruption. It doesn't matter how fast you're doing it, it just should be an even cadence through the whole
Ahora, no es
thing.
importante lo rápido que lo hagáis, sino que tenga esta cadencia, este flujo, ¿vale?
Okay, back at attention. Doing
¿Veis
that,
esto que caéis adelante?
just from the forward bow that you're doing, settle a little bit and bend your knees maybe a little bit more, because you're 60-40, and then when you go to 50-50, settle. If we're doing this, then we're not settling. So we're not getting as good a marriage gravity as we could.
Okay. Desde el arco y flecha, ¿vale? Pasamos al... Tenéis como que asentar más este movimiento para que no os caigáis adelante, ¿vale? Hay que doblar un poquito más las rodillas y así ganamos matrimonio, ¿vale? Con este pequeño doblada de rodillas.
Ready? Ho! All right, stand at attention. The other thing is make sure your targets are where they should be. So we're blocking,
Aseguraros que los objetivos están donde tienen que estar. Estamos
and
bloqueando,
then we're hitting right below the jaw line.
y ahora estamos yendo a la línea de la mandíbula,
Then we're going to heel palm the nose.
a la nariz,
Then we're going to punch the floating rib right here.
todas las costillas flotantes, el upper.
So watch your targets, because a lot of you aren't on target.
Algunos de vosotros estáis disparando sin el objetivo claro.
Ready? Ho! Right, are we doing an uppercut or a vertical punch?
¿Qué estamos haciendo? ¿Un uppercut o un puño vertical?
Depends on the distance of the enemy.
It depends on where the enemy is.
Okay, but yeah, that's true, but we're doing it in an ideal phase right now.
Es cierto, pero ahora estamos haciendo la fase ideal.
So, ideally, if I've hit you, I want to hit these ribs right there, right? So I want my fists up. We can change our weapon and our target, but right now we're doing an ideal phase. So ideally, if I've done this, I'm going to ideally do this where my fist is up, right? That's all I'm trying to tell you. Because if I hit this way, so if this is round and I hit this way, I can torque my wrist. But if it's round, it won't torque my wrist when I hit that. So I want to marry the weapon to the target. And if the target's round, because even if you're skinny, it's round because your ribs go in.
Podemos cambiar el objetivo y podemos cambiar el arma, pero ahora estamos trabajando en fase ideal, ¿vale? Entonces, el tema es que se está adaptando al cuerpo del oponente o a lo que nos encontramos. Cambiará mucho la dirección de la mano, pero en fase ideal, ¿vale? Es como lo está haciendo a él. Está trabajando en fase ideal.
Right, so now after we've done the uppercut, as soon as we've done the uppercut, we're going to ricochet from here right into the hand sword that's on the other side, the other jaw. We hit here, and now we're going to hit here. But to brace this move,
vale, ahora vamos a ir al siguiente movimiento, ¿vale? Y vamos a dar el canto al otro lado, ¿vale?
and to give us strength to pull the head down,
Y ahora para equilibrar y para darle la fuerza para tirar la cabeza abajo,
we're going to go from the uppercut straight to a twist stance.
de aquí se irá al twist stance.
And this hand's going to be pre-positioned up here.
Y esta está preparada, otra mano
Right.
está preparada.
When we're doing a twist stance, this knee is behind this knee. So I'm going to go. And that way I can lock it out.
Que una rodilla quede detrás de la otra.
So let's go to that. Everybody understand a twist stance, right?
Todo el mundo sabe la cruzada, ¿no? Y el twist y todo eso.
Okay, do the whole technique all the way up to the hand sword and the twist stance.
Llegamos
Ready?
al segundo canto, ¿vale? Después del upper al segundo canto.
Ready? Out. Is your knee touching the back of the other knee?
¿Está tu rodilla tocando la parte trasera de la otra rodilla?
Okay, back at ease. Add attention. I've done this. As soon as I've done that, right?
Rápido como sale el movimiento, sale el otro.
Explosion of motion with velocity. So,
Sale en un solo
and after you do the twist stance, you can stay there for a long time if you put that knee behind this knee.
Aseguraros mucho que cuando ponéis la rodilla una detrás de la otra, aquí podéis aguantar. No os vais a desequilibrar.
Okay, ready? Move. Okay, back at ease. Attention. All right, so after we've done this, and we've hit them in the neck along, just underneath the jawline, then I want you to anchor your elbow. Pretend like you have like a 100-pound weight or a 200-pound weight, right? And when I do this, watch. I'm going to end up with front toe rear heel alignment where his body is.
Una vez llegado al canto, ¿vale? Entonces, anclar bien el codo, ¿vale? Como si un peso os tirara abajo, ¿vale? Entonces pasamos al siguiente movimiento.
So from this position here, I'm going to anchor this. And I'm going to unwind into a neutral bow as I hit him in the brainstem with a hand sword. So let's take it all the way to this hand sword.
Cuando gira, pega. El otro canto.
So all the way to the last hand sword.
Hasta el último, ¿vale?
Ready? It doesn't matter how fast, just have a perfect cadence. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ahora no es tan importante la velocidad, sino que sigáis la misma cadencia, el mismo ritmo, que no hagáis movimientos agrupados, digamos.
Because you're going to practice it with an even cadence until you can do it spontaneously with one cadence.
E iréis tratando la cadencia hasta que lo hagáis de manera espontánea en solo una cadencia.
But we have to walk before we can run.
Tenemos que andar antes de que podemos correr.
So we probably have several years of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sí, tendremos muchos años de práctica de 1, 3, 4, 5.
So you want to teach your brain to go to the next move once it's made contact with the move right before that move.
Tienes que entrenar al cerebro a que una vez hecho contacto ya sale el siguiente movimiento.
Okay, ready? Boom! Good. Now from unwinding to this hand sword, so I'm in a neutral bow and I'm going to hit. Then and I have a check here. I guess I should stand this way. And I have a check here, right? So as I've unwound and hit, I'm going to grab the face, pull it towards me, and I'm going to do a reverse bow and hit the throat, and then scoop and cross out, right?
Vale, agarra de la cara para aspirar, ¿vale? Cuando hace el reverso.
So once I've done this, I'm going to grab and reverse bow, and then my foot is pre-positioned so that I can do a scoop. I'm going to look where I'm going. Step here, I'm going to look around so that I've covered 360 degrees around me.
Cuando ha dado el canto, agarra y entonces hace arco y flecha reverso, ¿vale? Así ya tiene la salida preparada. Entonces mira para dónde va a salir y sigue para allá.
Hacer simultáneo, same time,
Same time.
1, 2, 3.
I'm going to use your wrist. So if I pull this down, it's 1, 2, 3, but it looks like if I pull this down, right? It looks like, so is that 1, 2, 3 or 1? I don't know. What would you say?
¿Tú cómo lo has visto? ¿Como tres movimientos o como un pa, 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 un solo movimiento? ¿Eh?
1, 2, 3.
Right, so but just do it. It should be one fluid motion. So when I do this, it isn't this, 2, 3. This hand, watch, I won't use this hand, but it's, so as soon as I've hit this way,
Tan rápido como impacta sale el siguiente movimiento. Aunque en realidad son tres movimientos, él lo empaca en uno.
so I'm gonna go from a twist stance
Desde twist,
to a neutral
se va neutral.
to a reverse
Arco y flecha reverso.
as fast as I can.
Tan rápido como podáis cambiar.
But for now, just do it with the even cadence, and then later it can be one breath.
Primero trabájalo con la cadencia y luego podrá ser todo como una respiración, saldrá todo.
So ideally, all of this is one fluid motion, right?
Lo ideal es un movimiento fluido.
Ready? Move. So if you find yourself going from here, and then you've taken your hand all the way over to here, you don't need to, because like I showed, so I'm not using your neck, as I've showed from here, when I hit in a neutral, did you see me come over here to do that? All I got to do is go neutral bow, and then reverse bow, and I'll still have power. I'm going to hit you a little bit. So from here, I'm going to go from here. It's still enough. So then I'm going to,
Contornea y cambia la guardia. Del neutro al arco y flecha reverso.
I know you like to be demonstrated on if you want to feel that you can get power this way. You believe? Ask him if he believes you can get power that way.
Si te crees que sentirlo.
Yeah. All right. Because you've asked to have power demonstrated before, so I was just wondering if you believed.
Si crees que de aquí se puede sacar potencia y que puede funcionar.
Like the head isn't there, or he moved out of the way of this, then you don't go to the next technique. Then you modify it.
Vale, esta técnica, ¿vale? Va empalmando todos los movimientos, pero claro, si ya cambia el movimiento de tu adversario, ya se tiene que modificar.
So when Mr. Parker used to teach on Friday nights,
Parker solía enseñar en las noches de viernes.
he got requested from the participants if they could have fun on Friday instead of just working on one thing.
Si podían estar trabajando una sola cosa.
So then we started doing the techniques from Form 4.
Las técnicas de la cuarta, por ejemplo, la cuarta larga.
And just having fun for an hour on a Friday night.
Y divirtiéndose durante una hora el viernes por la noche.
So right now I want to break it up into 4 lines.
Vamos a hacer 4 líneas, ¿vale?
According to rank, and we're going to do...
por rangos, ¿vale? 4 líneas por rangos.
Nice. So do power that way.
Bigger step.
No, it's because you don't have anything to pull down with. If you're in a twist stance and I rotate my hip, I have all that torque, and then I'm anchoring this elbow. But if I do it from a forward bow, I won't have that. You can feel it, right? The difference. We're going to do the second technique in Form 4, darting leaves.
Haremos la segunda técnica de la cuarta, ¿vale? Darting leaves.
Everybody's familiar with that one?
¿Todos estáis familiarizados con esa técnica, darting leaves?
This is one that shows lateral motion, where you're going to step off to the side, do an inward block as we go into a cat.
Vamos a gato en un bloqueo interior.
Right, and then you're going to poke him in the eye and kick him in the groin.
Hacemos un poke mientras damos en genitales.
Right, and then for fun, land in a forward bow and check his hip, and then
chequeamos la cadera.
And then go to a neutral bow as you hit him with your forearm across the diaphragm.
Y nos vamos a neutral golpeando el diafragma.
Throw like a hook at my head.
Hook.
Yeah. It could be a straight punch. Do a straight punch. Yeah. So I need to move. I'm going to laterally move as I block.
Él se tiene que mover porque yo voy ahí, se mueve lateralmente, ¿vale? Yo voy con un recto y él se mueve lateralmente.
So throw it again. So it's going to teach me to move, right?
Te moverte.
And then from here, I'm pre-positioned so I can kick to the groin.
De aquí patea.
So I'm going to kick and hit the groin a slight.
Aquí chequea mi cadera.
And then instead of back knuckling them, I'm going to just key eye a little bit. I'm going to just hit across the diaphragm.
Y se va al diafragma.
And then if I wanted to, I'd see if I could catch it with the uppercut afterwards.
Y si quieres, puedes añadir un uppercut.
So what this technique is teaching is lateral motion. So whether I go to the right or to the left, I'm doing the lateral motion, kick, land, hit, and then I leave.
Lo que te enseña esta técnica es moverte de lado y la puedes hacer tanto a derecha como a izquierda.
So you've blocked, and then you're going to kick and eye poke, land, hit, and then uppercut. Right? That's good. Teach yourself to be point specific, because how I train is how I'm going to fight. So throw the punch at me. So if I do this instead of this, see I'm going right to the eye. So I want to teach myself to go right to the eye. Every time it's going to be to the eyeball. But if I just teach myself to just go, my hands are, then that's what I'm going to do in a fight. Okay. All right?
Si te entrenas apuntando mal, luego vas a hacer mal en la pelea.
Cross out. You're not done until you cross out. And then you didn't see me do this, did you? So make sure you finish the technique. And then also, this won't work. That won't work. This will work. Did you see it? So that's how you have to practice it. So when I do it, I brace the finger so I can make sure I'm going to go this far deep into the eye socket. But if I just go...
Sí, lo estoy entendiendo.
Okay. So yeah, I can't practice going, all right? It was below his chin. And for 2, you crossed out like this. You didn't look where you're going. If I'm going that way, I better look this way, right? Because we want you to be able to live if you get in a fight on the street. Okay. And you won't live if you step into a hole because you didn't look. The next technique in Form 4 is this one, right? So now we're gonna do that. When the guy throws a punch, kick, you're gonna go parry, block, parry, block, hammer, claw, back knuckle.
La siguiente técnica es la cuarta.
So I don't know which side you teach it on, but
Left, right? Right.
okay, it doesn't matter. But if let's do it this way. If he threw a right, then I'm going to step this way, right? If he threw a left, I'm going to step this way, right? Because then the next is your kick. No, go ahead.
I kick.
Yeah. And then I'm going to parry. So just know whatever punch he throws, I want to face the same direction as him. If he throws this punch,
la misma dirección que yo.
so if he throws this punch, I'm going to be this way.
Y ahora enfoca la otra dirección.
If he throws this punch, I'm going to be this way, right? So you just have to teach your mind how to unfold, because you won't find anybody on the street that comes up to you and says, I'm throwing the right and then the left.
Nadie te va a decir con cuál te va a tirar.
So you have to teach your mind to not let right or left matter. You just have to react spontaneously to the attack.
Tienes que entrenar tu mente a reaccionar espontáneamente, sea por la derecha o por la izquierda.
All right? So let's do this technique. So what we're doing is parry, block, parry, block, hammer, claw, back knuckle.
Patada, puño.
So it's, oh no, it's actually this way, right? Kick, punch. For it. So you just have to be confident. This is a block and a block. And then this is a parry and a block hammer. And you probably have to scoot up on that to catch him, right? But the thing is don't go block, don't start reaching for it, because you just need to be where you need to be. Because this is a universal block, right? I'm doing it downward. So I've got everything covered from my groin to my head. So I don't need to do this, right?
Thank you.
You're doing this, right? And then this is going to turn into this. And then this turns your hand around and you claw and you back knuckle and then you cross out. Yeah, so you're, from here is when this slides, it turns into a block and a hammer. So you just do this, right? This one, this block slides, this comes up and blocks, and then this hammers. There you go. That's it. And then from there you claw. The very next thing I want to do after I've done this is I want to see where I'm going. And most of you aren't doing that. So I've just hit him, boom, I'm going to go this way now because I want to cover all around me. So as I've done that, I need to look where I'm going.
Una vez acabado, miro a dónde voy. ¿Vale? Que muchos de vosotros no miráis a dónde vais. Una vez acabado.
So we're teaching you something to remember in your brain so that if you have to do this on the street, you won't die.
Vale, entrenáis algo que si lo recordáis lo haréis en la calle y si no, podemos morir.
So you have to teach that brain to remember, after I've done this, I'm leaving.
Tenéis que entrenar al cerebro que cuando toco la última vez ya miro dónde voy y me voy.
And we're not, a lot of us just go, hey, it's okay, right? And we don't want to do that. Conversely, if we're doing a technique where there's a takedown, where you've knocked a guy down on the ground, right? Too many people have the reflexes. I've knocked him down, okay, let me help you back up. And then okay, here, have a peanut, and you walk away. No, after you've knocked him down, then you cover out, and then you help him up, all right?
Cuando hagamos técnicas de takedown, rollo, ¿vale? Que tiramos a la persona al suelo, no nos acostumbramos al te he tirado y ya te ayudo. Primero haz el cover out, entrena tu cerebro esto y luego ayudas, ¿vale?
We got time to change the technique? I think so. Yep. So the next technique, you're standing over here. I don't know what side you teach, but it's a push. So I'm gonna parry on the outside edge.
Yeah.
Well, Yeah, just do this. Yeah. So I'm going to parry on the outside edge. I'm going to rotate, capture the arm, and I'm going to break the elbow. As soon as I broke the elbow, I'm going to come back and hit him here. As soon as I've hit him here, I'm going to hit him here. So do it. So I'm going to go, right? So I'm going to back knuckle him. I open my hand so I don't break ribs, but
Thank you.
do this, and then I'm going to pull him into me, and then I'm going to hit the kidney and spine. Boom, right? And then what am I going to do? I'm going to look where I'm going, right? So let's try that. Whichever side you do it on, right or left side. Been in recent time that I had a knee replacement.
Hace poco él tuvo que ponerse una prótesis de rodilla.
And prior to that, you guys remember the first time I came out, I had these huge braces.
La primera llevaba una ortopedia así.
Right? So when I did this and I checked, the braces hurt people, right? So I just thought of, in my brain.
Cuando hacía eso, ¿vale? El chequeo con la rodilla ortopédica, ¿vale? Que tenía como unos hierros, le clavaba a la gente, ¿sabes?
Yeah,
y él se acuerda de eso.
So do the attack. So it should really be this way, right?
Tiene que
So I've done this, boom, and then I'm going to do this, boom, right? And rip, and do that, right? So on the street, I would probably mess this up because I had too many decades of wearing braces and I didn't want to hurt my uke.
En la calle podría reventar, pero bueno, la idea es no hacerme daño, ¿vale?
So I've just realized that as I'm teaching, because I want you guys to do it correctly, because you don't have big braces on.
Solo os quiero enseñar cómo se hace correctamente y ya está, ¿vale?
All right, so my apologies for not doing that the first time. But then it dawned on me. No, you want to do the attack fast, real fast. Right? Do it fast, hit here. It's easy, right? But do it, that's not so much, right? So you do the attack, so it's just here, right? Yeah, so you can catch it easy by doing this and then rolling your hand. You can't catch it easy this way. You actually did this. Ah!
See my intentions, no? You can read my intentions.
Well, you're not going to catch the hand.
Yeah, okay.
So you just, oh, that's all you have to do. Your face is bad. Yeah. Now do an outward parry. Do an outward parry. So just have your hand on there and then do an outward parry. Throw it out, so it goes like this. This is what outward parry looks like. Watch, this is what it looks like. Right? Okay. So do this, do that. Okay. Do it. Just stand there and do it. Go ahead. Now have confidence that you're gonna block it. Ready, go. See that? Now rotate, grab, cross out this way. Right? If I just finish doing this, I don't want to cross out this way. I want to cross out that way. You're not as bad, but you're kind of going like that. Do this. So I'm going to come out here and catch it on the outer rim and then do that. So in flashing wings, we want to block on the outer edge, right? And then we're going to check and we're going to do an inward elbow. And this is a check. And this is a check. Remember, I don't have braces, so I know I can do this. Then I'm going to hit to the kidney. I'm going to let this bounce up because I have this checked. And now I'm checking this way, right? And then I'm going to hit the brainstem 2 times. Boom, boom. And then checking again here. Then I'm going to drag this arm down, and I'm going to go to the throat, right? And then what am I going to do after this? I'm going to cover out. Which way am I going to cover out? Am I going to cover out this way in front of him? Right, I'm going to cover out away from him, right? So I'm going to do the cover out. He can come up and elbow you. So look, stand here. So I've done this here, and this is a check. Then I elbow, right? I'm not trying to bend you over. And then I still need to check. This is a check now. So now I'm checking, and then I just go, boom, right? Check. Right, so I've gone from here, and then this does this. Right? And when it does this, it opens that up. But you need to be this way, not this way. There's a check here. Okay, so whatever. So this is a check. Elbow, right? Then elbow. I got this check because I don't want this to come back and hit me. So I've elbowed here is check. Now I'm checking this way. This is my check. Right?
You try to reach the first one in the ribs, and the second one?
Yes, so I'm going to go from here, boom, to the ribs. Then I'm going to go to the kidney. right? And then I'm going to check with the shoulder, and then I'm going to go brainstem, brainstem. Then I'm going to anchor my elbow so that that opens up so I can do that, right? But the thing is you're going, you have no check. This hand's over here. Used to be here. Going to attack you. This is just teaching you a word for your language of Kenpo.
No hay una norma de cómo te atacará, etcétera. Es solo que estás aprendiendo un lenguaje, estás aprendiendo a cómo hablar nuestro lenguaje.
So a fighter, he's probably going to go left, right, hook, uppercut, right?
Esto es un movimiento típico del luchador, que es el 1-2.
Yeah. So we have a technique for that. You know it, right?
Tenemos una técnica para eso.
Do you know it?
He knows.
You know it? I had Lorenzo teach you guys that.
There was a set.
But I don't want to get into that now. But there's a different word to defend against that. And
Es otra palabra para defenderse de eso. Es otra.
I recorded it, and it's out there in the Ethernet.
Está en internet.
But right now we're defending against somebody that went, whoa, right?
Ahora el ataque es alguien que te viene encima así, en plan garrulo.
Right. And this isn't the technique that I would do if it was a left, right, hook, right? It's different.
Es otra manera, si se mueve al revés.
This is teaching us that we might not be ready for this, right? So it just means that we have to practice more on it. So make sure that your uki is actually attacking you.
Aseguraros que el que ataca os está atacando de verdad.
So
no lo estáis entrenando bien.
The proper way to do it is if I do my defense wrong, I should feel this.
Tienes que sentir que si fallas en tu defensa te comes la galleta.
Right?
El ataque tiene que ser así.
It shouldn't be.
No así.
Because if the person can't defend against this, then they need to practice till they can. But we're giving them a false sense of security if we punch away from them.
Si no, estamos creando una falsa sensación de seguridad, pensándonos que vale, ya me defiendo bien así. Cuando te defiendes bien del ataque así, es que te saldrá así.
Yeah, so have the confidence to do the attack. Go ahead. Is that the attack?
Yeah, no.
But see, but it's all right. But you see how I'm outside of it? I don't know what he's gonna do, right? He did punch kick with the same leg, but I'm still defending it. But I'm not going. I need to have a solid base, right? So make sure you're doing that. Ready? Right? So you need to punch at him, right? So he has to do it. Now he's going to do it. So go ahead and hit him.
Right.
Ready? Attacks this way. Right? You want him to have to focus. Right? That is. Holding your breath makes you tight, and then you won't be able to fight after you're fighting for 15 seconds.
Si aguantas la respiración serás muy rígido. ¿Y cuánto vas a aguantar? 50 segundos máximo, o sea, te vas a ahogar. Que respires.
Yeah, so let's everybody get in a circle.
Hacemos un círculo.
So some of you are holding your breath while you're doing this.
Algunos de vosotros estáis aguantando la respiración.
If you ever find yourself in a fight,
Si realmente estáis en una pelea,
within 30 seconds you're going to be gasping for air.
segundos os habéis ahogado.
So you should be able to just breathe, have a conversation while you're doing this. You don't tighten up your body, right? So practice breathing while you're doing this. Don't let yourself get tight.
Vale. Que cuando...
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Que si aguantáis la respiración os volvéis muy rígidos y os desfondáis muy rápido, ¿vale? Que practiquéis respirando. Intermittent energy. She speaks about intermittent energy to connect, disconnect, connect, disconnect.
Right. The best way of doing it, if you're really in trouble, is to ki. Right? One exhale as you're doing it.
Una manera, con el ki lo que haces es exhalas y así no retienes. Te fuerzas en no retener el aire.
The ki many times will freeze the person.
Muchas veces el ki lo que hará es congelar la persona.
So that you can do your technique where they're like, what was that? So.
Entonces te permite hacer la técnica, pero le has metido el susto.
Un estado de estrés.
Sí.
Un estado de estrés.
Yeah.
Estás estresado.
Pero él lo que te dice es,
So grab my collar.
agárrale de la solapa.
Oh! See?
Y a esto se le llama un susto.
Right? So you can freeze the guy on that, but you want to breathe. Don't hold your breath because it contracts all your muscles.
No aguantéis el aire porque va a contraer todos vuestros músculos, ¿vale?
All right?
Yo lo que voy que es innato. Que es innato cuando estás estresado. El cuerpo hace eso.
Pero él te dice una manera de no hacerlo. Haz un kiai y así estás forzado a soltarlo. No puedes hacer un kiai si estás aguantando.
All right, let's do the technique again. And now, after we've done the back knuckle, look where you're going and cover out. He's the only person that's been doing it.
Vale.
Right?
Haremos la técnica otra vez, ¿vale? Y haremos el cover out, pero sobre todo mirar dónde vais. Dice, el único que lo está haciendo es el bajito este.
Raise your hand if you don't know how to cover out.
¿Dónde está vuestra cabeza cuando hacéis el cover out?
They all know? All right, you explain it.
Explica el cover out. ¿Dónde miras? ¿Dónde acabas la técnica? No, has acabado la técnica conmigo. ¿Cómo haces la salida?
Don't show me, explain. What are you doing?
Explícalo a todos. He controls the opponent and the environment.
You're looking at it. And before I move, I look, right?
Antes de moverme, miro dónde voy.
So if you make a mistake like that, where does the power come from on the kicks? It comes from up here, right? So you can check this way too. You don't have to worry about being out here. You can just check right there. Check right here. This way or this way.
With my shoulders?
Check his shoulders, and that'll cancel his punch. The longer we're doing it, the more I see your feet not being parallel, not having front toe rear heel alignment.
Prestar atención a las posiciones, porque por correr, cuanto más lo vamos haciendo, al final poco a poco las posiciones se van relajando y no son correctas.
So remember, although we can probably make the technique work without a perfect stance,
Probablemente conseguiremos que la técnica funcione si hacemos las posiciones bien hechas.
we have a lot of rank, and the beginners will look at us and say, well, his stance isn't perfect, mine doesn't have to be perfect.
Y esto no lo entendí muy bien, pero que los iniciadores, los que empiezan, los principiantes, tienen que ir haciendo y poco a poco irán desarrollando las técnicas.
So we have to set the example for others to follow.
Ajá, nosotros tenemos aquí otros ejemplos para seguir.
And the best people to judge if we're doing it perfect is ourselves.
Porque los primeros que tenemos que hacer una posición perfecta somos nosotros.
All right?
Okay.
So let's line it up and work on another technique. Like just everybody face me.
Porque todo el mundo miramos hacia este lado. Los mismos, atacando a los mismos.
Ready? Move. All right. Ready? Move. See? This. Straight. Just punch straight. No, I'm not going to do anything. Just punch straight. Do it again. Punch straight. Yeah, so when you punch for some reason, you punch like this. Wait a minute. You are punching like this. You're lifting the elbow up and then punching. The way this is, watch my elbow. I don't do this because that tells everybody what I'm going to do. You pick it up on your peripheral vision. When I punch, it's going to be this, right? It's a straight punch.
So he has no
Muy
confidence in
difícil,
himself.
muy difícil.
Eso tiene que ir
He thinks it's
acompañado
very
con
difficult
un
if you
tiro de cadera
really
bastante. Tiene que
you
ser
have a strong punch. It's difficult to block with this.
una finta.
But it's not. If you throw a straight punch and I do this, again, you're doing this. So if you're doing,
Sigues tirando con el codo arriba, abierto.
go ahead. If you're doing that, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go whap, like, right? But if you throw a straight punch, then I can do this. And when I do this, it'll work.
Si te va a pegar a la cara, tienes que hacer una pequeña finta para salir.
So you're trying to find an answer for a different problem. You're trying to find the solution for a different problem.
Que tienes que encontrar la solución o la respuesta a cada problema.
Se esquiva si
Depende del problema, pues hay que buscar la solución.
se esquiva.
Ya.
La solución no sería buscar un denominador común que me sirva para varios matices distintos.
Yeah, would be the solution to find some answer, a wide answer for different problems.
That's what we have. The whole siliquist of 154 techniques is what they have now.
Por eso tenemos un programa tan extenso de técnicas para dar.
Yeah, but I mean, you know
Cuando
what?
tienes muchas técnicas,
When there are many
tardas más en
techniques,
decidir con cuál.
Yeah.
you
So
spend more time to decide.
So my answer, if you're standing in front of me, and I don't know if you're going to throw a right and a left, is I'm going to use a long-range weapon to keep you away, which is my feet. Right?
Esto es como cuando está utilizando un ataque de un arma de largo alcance.
But you're trying to find a solution for everything from one spot. That's why we have all the techniques,
Yeah.
and then we have to train the mind to be able to figure out what to do.
Ya, para eso tenemos ese número de técnicas para que te enseñen las distintas situaciones y nosotros somos los que tenemos que pensar en qué tenemos que hacer.
Because, put your right hand out, go ahead.
Con la mano ahí.
Because even though I'm not behind the elbow,
Y bien, si no,
because you
está por detrás del codo.
were like this,
Tú abres
right?
esto.
So then when you did that, if you notice, I was here.
Claro.
I didn't know that you were going to do this, but then I'm here, right? And I'm here because I'm making up for the fact that you punched different than I expected, right?
Él tiene incluso, puede ser que tú dobles el codo.
1, 2, think about it, and now I make this go. Do this as fast as you can, and just insert this part.
La mano no hace 1, 2 y 3, sino que esta mano tiene que hacer esto. Todo en un solo movimiento. Es más.
So that's the velocity part of that pentagon of power. So this hand never stops.
Esto es el
Right.
párrafo,
So just do this.
el párrafo de la velocidad, en la que esta mano hace un solo
Then as soon as you've lifted them up, then open them up. Just spear him, knee him, and outward diagonal into wrist.
Este momento va todo continuado.
It's a mouthful for just one strike, huh? Ready? Move! Taking talon, right? We're doing the lower one. Ready? Move! Good. Both open. So a good way of doing it is this way. It doesn't hurt too much, did it? Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to step off to the side and swing with an outward block. I'm going to do like an uppercut to the outside of his arm. I'm talking too fast, sorry.
Porque dice que mucha gente tiene problemas al empezar esta técnica. Entonces él lo que hace es entrar con un uppercut a la parte interior del brazo.
Right. So throw the punch. So I'm here, right? And then of course from here I'm going to hammer the kidney and check. Right? And then I'm going to pretend like I have an anchor to pull this arm down. Right? As I slice across the eyes. And then I'm going to get the back of his knee. But my hands are in the way, so I have to do this, right?
Está haciendo es cambiando las manos.
And break that out, but I still have the check there. And I'm going to kick. I think it's me that dropped it. Sorry. All right, so let's do this by the, thank you. Let's do this by the numbers. So the first move is we're going to do an outward block But we're going to do it as I'm going to aim on the outside of my opponent's elbow, and as I rotate into a neutral bow, that's going to bring him back, right? His fist, and then do this. So I'm launching this and turning at the same time. Ready? Woo! All right, so you back at ease. You have to ask yourself, did I do this? And then I did this? I always imagine I've stood here for a while and I've sank into the mud, but I don't know it. But my feet aren't going to move. So if my first idea is to step in, I'm going to fall because my feet are stuck. But if I forget to move my feet because they're stuck, Steve, you can punch me. Just cock your arm. Just cock it and punch me in the face. I'm going to do that. Do it. Oh, fast punches, right? So the guy has to actually work, right?
Ya, tiene que hacerlo para que funcione, para ver que funciona.
All right. People facing that way are going to do the attack.
Okay, los que estamos mirando para allá atacamos.
And the people facing that way are going to try to hit. Hi, how's it going?
Thank you.
The people are going to try to hit the stomach, right?
Okay.
But it's 1, 2, right?
Van a ir al estómago.
Right? Yes. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Move. No. Keep going. Okay, so make this come here.
Abajo.
Abajo la cadera.
Do the attack. 1, 2, right? Then I need to do this so that I can lift this up. This. Right?
Claro, pero
And, wait, and this defense isn't for that. It's for this.
Es para alguien que ataque con el brazo muy recto.
So if you throw a straight punch,
Se tira un brazo recto.
then I'm going to go on this side and it rotates, right?
Ya, entonces él va a hacer este bloqueo.
But it's not for this,
Él no es un
right?
ataque que
It's
va
not for that. It's for this,
Ya.
right? Does that make sense? Yeah, we have to change the technique if the guy's punching like this, right?
Ya, que tendría que cambiar la técnica si alguien te ataca así. Conscientes de esto. Espere.
And if you're wondering what is he going to do, like he's paused, then just step on him,
Ya, que puede hacer que va a hacer así y luego te saca la pierna.
right? So this isn't one technique that's good for everything. It's just part of your language.
Ya, por eso no puede decir que una técnica funciona para todo. Es parte de tu idioma, de tu lenguaje.
As the ranks that we have, if somebody attacks us
Si a cualquiera de nosotros a nuestro grado, si alguien nos ataca,
when we're practicing,
cuando nosotros estamos practicando,
and we think they're going to throw a left-right, but instead they threw a right-left, that should not be important.
ya, que si en lugar de atacar izquierda-derecha, que es lo típico, ataca derecha-izquierda, no debería de ser importante.
If you were doing snaking talons,
Si está haciendo el snaking talon,
if you threw a left-right, throw a left-right. Throw a left-right at me.
¿Estos?
Right here. Right? But throw a right-left at me. Right? So I could go like this, right?
ya, puede hacer lo que sea, al final puede hacer lo típico o hacer con la
Movimiento
mano.
llave maestro.
Yeah, but throw a left-right, so I'm moving away. Throw a right-left, I move away.
Puede hacer
Right?
con lo mismo, puede hacer otra defensa.
But I don't do this, right? But we have to teach our mind. We have to teach our mind. It's embarrassing at this level. It's embarrassing at this level if you think the guy's going to throw a right, but he throws a left, and you go, oh, you threw the wrong attack.
Ya, claro, dice que a este nivel no puede pasar que te va a atacar y te hace otro y tú no puedes decir, ah, no, me ha atacado mal.
There's-
Es el ataque erróneo.
There's no wrong attack.
No hay nunca un ataque equivocado, un ataque erróneo.
It's up to you to see it and then modify your defense.
Es tema tuyo verlo y modificar cómo responde.
Does that make sense? Did that answer the question?
responde tu pregunta. Muy bien, sí.
Okay, so let's try this again.
Ok, pues entonces vamos a
Let's try this technique. Ready?
importante que el que ataca que golpee.
And where I want you to punch to the sternum.
El puño va al esternón.
It's a step through punch and punch hard to the sternum.
Ok, hacemos un paso, avanzando un paso y golpeando duro al esternón.
If they don't block, they'll know it.
Si no bloquea, pues ya sabes. Susto o muerte.
Okay, ready? The people facing that way are attacking. Ready? Woo! Okay. Right, hammer, and I'm not doing this, I'm doing this, right? Slicing, right?
Haciendo así con el grulla.
Yeah, because you won't get Steve's arm down.
Ya. Porque si tiene el brazo recto no lo puedes bajar. O sea, él va a hacer fuerza y no va a bajar.
So the people attacking should punch hard and then lock their arm out. Don't just be compliant.
Ok, el que ataca que mantenga el brazo arriba y que no se lo tenga que bajar.
Did you guys hear that? Okay, ready? Move! No, it doesn't work, huh?
Ya.
Why? That's better. And then-
Más, ¿no?
Good. Do that. I'm going to do the attack. You do the technique. All right? Make sure you get my arm down. Go ahead, do the technique, but get my arm down.
Sigue la continue the technique.
Okay.
Can't get my arm down? How come? What is this?
Go down to the side.
But if I do this, keep your arm straight,
Okay.
and I do this, see how that opens it up? But I'm never going to be able to do this. So hold your arm straight.
Okay.
This isn't going to work. If you're compliant, it will. Lock your arm out. If I do this,
Yeah.
can you lock your arm out, please? Lock it out hard. This won't work.
Yeah.
This will.
Ah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you want to block, check, elbow, elbow, check, hand sword, right? But you're forgetting this check.
Yeah, this first I normally can do it because they tell me this way to like love, and when you do feel like you are turning up for your knees.
Yeah, that's okay. So when she does that, go like this. Go ahead. Yeah, but see, this is, you do it to me. I don't want to hurt you, but I could do this, right?
Yeah.
So you could block it when you hit me. Go ahead, hit me with the elbow. Oh, I could do that. Like, oh, right?
Yeah.
Now this is true. You get strength this way,
Yeah,
but not at the penalty of leaving my face open. So after I've done this elbow, I've got a check elbow. Check is still here. Now this is a check, and I'm doing the hand sword. To get this arm down, when you guys are compliant, of course, I just push it like this, and my elbows maybe as high as my hand, or maybe it's even higher than my hand, but it won't work that way if the guy's not cooperating with you.
Cuando hagáis el chequeo este para bajar el brazo, ¿vale? Aquí, porque somos muy colegas, tocamos y abajamos, pero esto no va a funcionar.
So after I've done this, I'm going to anchor this elbow. And when I do, as I crane and bring this down, it'll open the jaw up. See how it opens this jaw up so I could hit with this one?
Va a anclar el codo y hacer como grulla abajo.
Y tienes que abrir el jazz, la barbilla para poder hacerlo.
Right? So do this, and you get some marriage of gravity as I change my weight. Right?
Sacar un
Go ahead.
Sacar un poco de matrimonio al tirar el codo abajo, ¿vale? Añadir.
But my elbow wants to be anchored. I pretend like I have a 200-pound weight on it, and it lifts it up.
Es como si tuviera un peso en el codo que baja.
But lock your arm out. But if he has his arm out locked,
Si tiene el brazo rígido,
I'm
no
trying
puede.
hard. I'm not going to get it down. But I can do it effortlessly by doing this.
Si lo hace
Right?
así, no le cuesta esfuerzo. Y me mueve.
Could you see me almost blow my brains out straining this way? But if I just do this, it's just easy.
Así es mucho
Alright.
más fácil.
Teach yourself to do the technique in a way that you're going to be survivable in the street, and don't let bad habits come into place. Don't forget that you have to check for the what ifs. Do we get more power if we do this? Just like when we're doing this technique, it's more powerful this way than it is just this way. but you can't get better power for this elbow at the sacrifice of not protecting your face by having a check here, all right? At least I wouldn't, because I want to teach my brain to survive if I use this on the street, which I have too many times, all right? So you're all looking good. Let's close out, left over right. Close. Good job. Good job. You'll do it. It'll come natural if you don't think about it. You step out with your left foot. Yeah. It's for sure that way.
Es mi hijo, ¿crees que son prácticos?
Salute.
There you go. I felt that one. Okay,